Well, last year, John Paddock, pretty soft-spoken assistant coach with the Ottawa Senators. He's turned into a very straight-talking head coach, pretty well loved by the media in Ottawa, well liked by his players as well. But when your daughters actually have something special to say about the way you motivate them, well, you know you're onto a good thing. Here's an intimate look at head coach John Paddock.
Wait. Go into the hash mark area. Joe, Spez, and Alfie have the top. Go to the side of the net and in front. 3 right-hand shots got the top. Wade's in the slot. Off to here on the side. In the middle, Joe on the top. 3 right-hand shots.
Like most kids who grew up in Oak River, Manitoba, John Paddock was a rink rat.
Well, real small town, in like real small. Gotten even smaller over the years. Used to be the railroad used to go through and the elevators, and that's gone, and a couple hardware business and stuff is gone. Hotel is sort of in and out as far as owners, and a place to go to have a cold one. I think the real central figure of that community is the rink and the activities that go on there. Hockey has never lost a beat, and curling has never lost a beat, and it's sort of the social place for weddings and dances and socials and different things. But it's a small rural community, and it's a pretty good life to grow up on a farm and have a lot of freedom out there.
On 'em hard, on 'em hard!
In the early 70s, Paddock played for the Brandon Wheat Kings. Somewhat ironically, 2 hours east in Winnipeg, the World Hockey Association signed professional hockey's first millionaire, and the WHA played its first regular season game at the Ottawa Civic Centre. In 1974, Paddock was drafted 37th overall by the Washington Capitals and 57th by the Minnesota Fighting Saints.
World Hockey and the NHL were in a real battle for players. The World Hockey that year had an early draft sometime in February, and a good friend of mine and captain of our team, Ron Chipperfield, called me about 11 o'clock one night and said, World Hockey's just had a draft, and they drafted 2 rounds of players. We've both been drafted, and Minnesota took it. I was like, you're kidding me. But from that point on, you know, I was having a good year, but from that point on, you know, things became more interesting, and there was a, you know, possibility I was going to be able to at least have a chance to play pro hockey, and I never really thought of it up to then. I went in the NHL route because it was absolutely guaranteed, and I had the security of a 5-year contract, which was really big, and it's not even a fraction of the money they get now, but it was big at that time, and that gave me a chance to establish a niche in pro hockey.
On the first entry, it's perfect when you got to move the puck. When you got too close to the defenseman there. I mean, that's perfect, but once you get to that spot, you can't keep trying to beat them one-on-one because they're going to close in on you. You got to move it.
I was just an up-and-down grinding winger who was involved some physically if you had to be, and had a little bit of a touch around the net, and I would probably be in today's game, you know, 4th line useful player. Maybe once in a while you could play in the 3rd line, something like that.
Skate, Wade, skate. It's right here is the play. Jeez.
He played only 87 NHL games over 10 seasons and settled into an AHL career that would make Don Cherry proud. In 1983, 17 games into the season, he went from grinding forward on the Maine Mariners to head coach of the Maine Mariners. His team won the Calder Cup, and Paddock began a coaching career now in its 20th year.
I expressed a little interest at different times in coaching. Certain people knew that, and I had an opportunity, and it was a real quick snap decision I had to make to stop playing in November of '83. But I chose to do that, and you know, it was probably a little tough at the time. I certainly missed playing, but coaching is the closest thing there is to playing.
Don't get too deep. Don't get too deep on the forecheck. You know, as the second guy, you did a good job getting over to the wall. Yeah. But you don't get too deep, because if it goes down, Dean's going, you got to get back across.
I think it seems to be that the star players, for the most part, don't become coaches because they've just gone out and reacted naturally to their game and stuff, and they haven't had to study the game. I think a player like Jacques Lemaire is a little bit of a different thing. He was maybe not a superstar, but was a star, but has obviously studied the game and put things into place.
Kel's Fermi, Paddy. The pucks have got to go in deep. You've got to go in deep with a little bit of a purpose.
penalty minutes, but they lead the league in penalty minutes.
In 1992, Paddock was hired as head coach of the Winnipeg Jets. The year before, he led the Binghamton Rangers to the Calder Cup finals in the AHL.
It was a dream job for me to basically go home, certainly to my home province, and coach a hockey team in the NHL. So it was a good starting learning experience in the NHL. Certainly, I grew as a coach there, having a chance to be the manager and putting together a team that was a lame duck team in the city, and we made the playoffs that year and took Detroit to 6 games. That there was lots of things, lots of lessons learned about team and organization through the years in Winnipeg, and I had the fortune of coaching some outstanding players, Phil Housley and Teemu Selanne and Keith Tkachuk and Thomas Steen and Teppo Noonan, and you know, we had some world-class players there.
Wes and I just spoke. He's talking about job talking here. We didn't want to penalize after the whistle. It's a good hockey game. We're going to start. It's going to be one guy.
Well, just take care of number 8.
As general manager of the Jets, Paddock moved with the team to Phoenix but was released in favor of Bobby Smith in 1996. He resurfaced in '99 as a more experienced, more sophisticated head coach who relates well to his players.
I don't relate to them any different than I did at any time I've coached, or how I think they should be related to. I think you've got to be, I guess sometimes you have to be diplomatic. You can't just out and out tell the blatant truth and what you think about a person or a player or how they play. But they want upfrontness, they want honesty, they want to be told, they want to have a game plan, they want to have some discipline. The ones that are worth a grain of salt, they want to be worked hard, they want to be pushed, and they want to win. And that's what we have as a group here, I think.
In his hockey life, he's changed cities 17 times in 34 years, yet he's maintained enough stability to be justifiably proud of 4 accomplished daughters.
Mom more so than I, because the way did a tremendous job in raising them. They are intelligent girls. They have a strong faith background that they can rely on, and they're going to excel at wherever and whatever they do at. And I think that's like a lot them, a lot what they believe in, and a lot their mother's influence when I wasn't there. And I'd like to think that I've had a part of it because I enjoy them tremendously.
I'm Sally. I'm the second oldest, and I'm 25 years old. And right now I'm doing my master's at BU.
Hi, I'm Anna. I'm 22 years old. I just graduated my undergrad from Trinity Western University in April, where I played volleyball, and now I'm just living in Connecticut, coaching and teaching piano.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm 14 years old. I'm the youngest, and I go to a small private school in Connecticut, and I play lacrosse and soccer.
He's never coached me. Actually, he wasn't allowed to coach my hockey team because he didn't have the proper credentials. He didn't go through the coaching clinics, I guess. But always very encouraging and motivating, and like working really hard as well. If I would go to Winnipeg in the arena, if I went to practice with him and wanted to skate, if I was on my own, like I would just shoot and I wouldn't skate at all. But if he came out, then he would make me skate, and he would skate with me the whole time. So I think the work ethic really rubbed off.
Just being under a lot of coaching and seeing lots of things, like I've told people before, like I've just never met a coach like my dad. Like he just seems to be born like a phenomenal coach. Like I just even know in university I would, like before I had a big game or like a playoff game or at nationals, like he'd leave me these voicemails that I'd like get my friends on the team to listen to because they were so motivating, like not even joking. And it wasn't like your typical rah-rah speech. It's just, he understands how like an athlete's mind works and strategy and how to build that up, and yeah, so I really appreciated that.
Destiny has led John Paddock from Oak River, Manitoba to the Ottawa Senators along a path that wound through thousands of players and dozens of teams. When he steps behind the bench in Atlanta this month at the All-Star Game, it will be the 1,697th time he has done so as a professional coach.